MARTA Police, this is Libby. Can I help you?
Hey, Olivia, how you doing this morning?
Good.
Super. My name is Billy, and I'm calling to find out how do I go about obtaining police records like body cam and disciplinary files and things of that nature.
Who are you with?
Oh, I'm with me.
Okay. What is it in reference to? Is it a specific case or?
Yes, ma'am. It is involving a deputy, an officer named Moraz.
Yes, I did not know.
Roberto
Okay.
Moraz Nielsen, or I'm sorry, Nielsen Roberto Moraz.
Okay.
And I sent
Do you want-
request to Pearl the email address on the website, but I haven't. I've sent emails to several people, and I haven't received a response on any of it.
Well, here, are you talking about Pearlie McKenzie?
Yes, yes.
Okay, she's been out of the office on vacation, so she's not here.
Right.
Who did you send it to?
Yeah, I sent it to her. I sent it to the person that she lists in the email.
Okay, but you're wanting an open records request for items for an employee that no longer works here. Is that what you're asking?
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let me get you the person that does open records requests. Well, actually, if it's for, you said reports and what else?
It would be for body cam and disciplinary record, image on file, any Garrity or Miranda warning on file for the duration of his employment. What kind of body?
So that's going to be, you can put it all into the internal affairs. Whatever's not theirs, they'll divvy out to someone else, but that would be who you would send that to.
Well, what's the contact information for them?
I'm getting ready to give that to you. Do you
Okay.
have a pen ready? Because it's a long one.
Yeah, I do. Go ahead.
It's MPD,
PD.
Internal Affairs, with an S, at itsmarta.com.
Fantastic. Well, I will send them my email then. I think I have already. I'm gonna have to go back and look, but maybe I haven't. Maybe I haven't. But I will send them my request, and we'll go from there.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Hello.
Oh, yes, it's a Sergeant Newton with the MARTA Police Department Internal Affairs.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
I'm great. How about yourself, sir?
Doing good. Doing good. What was your name again?
Sergeant Newsom.
Newsom. Okay. All right. Hey, Sergeant Newsom. My name is Billy.
Hey, Dylan. How you doing today, sir?
Doing good, boss. Doing good.
How can I be of assistance? I got a missed call from you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had already contacted legal with MARTA, and she showed me where the open records portal is on you guys' website. I mean, I had emailed so many people up to this point. Pearl McKenzie, Leroy White, the Chief, Charles Salters. I've emailed quite a few people trying to get records on a particular individual that used to work for you guys a couple years ago. He no longer works for you. He was decertified in the state of Georgia back in 2022. So I sent the request a couple weeks ago, and I've just been going round and round, calling, sending different emails. I send an email, I get a response back from Pearl saying that, hey, I'm out of the office. You can email Leroy White for your open records. No response from Leroy. And of course, I gave it plenty of time. I gave it a week, before I called or anything, because I know sometimes it takes a few days to kind of sort things out, especially if it's an officer that is no longer with you. But that is basically why I called. I just want to put a complaint in on these individuals for not responding to their emails. But the most important part of all this is the violation of the open records laws themselves with the 72-hour response time, 72 hours, 3 days, business days, that is. My most common complaint to the Attorney General. But no response back on this. So I just wanted to make you guys aware, because you probably don't know what's going on, that there's a lot of frustration. The process has been obfuscated, and the online portal that you guys use, it requires a phone number and personal information, which is not required by the Georgia Open Records Act 1871. And that information, that is the reason why I would prefer sending an email. I will give you my full name, because the Attorney General will not accept complaints unless the complainant gives their full identity, their full name. But you guys are requesting, phone number and that sort of thing. And you can't do that when it involves open records. These records can be requested anonymously, to be honest with you. However, if requested anonymously, the Attorney General won't touch it. So that was it. That's all. That's the only reason I called, sir.
Okay, so you mentioned earlier that you wanted to file a complaint. Are you still wanting to do that? Because a complaint against officers, that would come to me, and that's something that my unit would investigate. So I didn't know. I know you're frustrated, so some information you're trying to get, and it's been frustrating for you to obtain said information.
Yes, sir.
So I'm just trying to open records. That is completely different department. That's not something that I facilitate here in my department. That is handled by the MARTA legal team.
Correct.
Yeah, they handle that part. But any complaints against officers' actions or lack of thereof, that would come to me, and that's something that the Internal Affairs Office of Professional Standards would look into.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am. This phone call is the complaint, and I would definitely like to find out why my emails are being ignored. I mean, listen, I understand that this officer that I'm trying to get these files on he's very popular right now because of me. I have a lot of his files, his interviews with the Georgia Post Council, and so on and so on. And I'd like to know why my emails are being ignored. I will also say that today I called Olivia Moore. I spoke to her briefly, and she gave me some contact information for open records, and that email address she gave me was mpdinternalaffairs@itsmarta.com. She didn't give me a name or a contact, and I tried to call her back, but now she's ghosted me and she's not taking my phone calls. So this is a common occurring thing over the past couple of weeks with your agency, that my emails are being ignored. Now I'm basically being brushed off. I knew when she told me Internal Affairs, I knew that wasn't correct. That's Internal Affairs doesn't. Well, some agencies, Internal Affairs, do handle open records, but it's typically not a point of contact to obtain open records. But my complaint is basically just the basic ignoring of my email. I filed a complaint back on June 11th, 2024, and I sent that to Carr@itsmarta.com, the Chief of Police, Scott Carr, and also forwarded the complaint to Lieutenant Leroy White. And no response back on that. And it's been a week now. I haven't heard anything back from either one of them on this complaint, and it's kind of bizarre because that's the Chief of Police. I mean, so you're the last point of contact at MARTA right now, because I've pretty much talked to most everybody, or I've emailed. And yes, sir, I would definitely like to know why. They put you in a position when they do stuff like that. When all they had to do was comply with the open records request, because we're outside of the bounds at this point. We're already in 501874. The violation of the Open Records Act is a misdemeanor, by the way, punishment up to a year in jail and a $1,000 fine. Anyone who attempts to frustrate the open records process, which is what I've been dealing with for a couple weeks now. So there are very serious penalties for this, and there's criminal implications. There's also administrative implications, which would be Garrity. So you'd have the Miranda for the criminal, and you'd have the Garrity for the administrative part, for them ignoring my emails and not doing their job. I'm sure that it is in your company policy, your agency policy, to respond in a timely manner to citizen inquiries and complaints, which so far with the chief and Mr. White, that has not happened yet. And that email was sent, again, June 11, 2024.
And you said you sent that to Chief Carr and Leroy, right?
Yes, sir.
White?
Yes, sir. And it's also been sent to pmckinzie@itsmarta.com, Pearl McKenzie.
Yes, sir.
Yep, it was sent to her as well. In fact, that's where the original open records request started with her, because it states that she is, the open records contact. And if she's not, then that's fine. But at least send me an email back and tell me that, hey, you got the wrong person. This is the person you need to contact, and it wouldn't be an issue, right? And we could have been past this by now. But the fact that I would tell you that out of the hundreds, if not thousands at this point, open records that I've done with many agencies across the state of Georgia and Tennessee and Alabama and Florida and everywhere else, that I typically don't run across this unless there is a particular reason for it. And if you haven't listened to this man's interviews with the Georgia Post Council, you'll understand if you heard his interview why I'm being ignored right now. This cop, he was extra, man. He was riding around in a fake SWAT police van, blue lighting people on Georgia 400, and they was calling 911. I have all the 911 calls. I have all the interviews. I have everything except his disciplinary file and the things I've requested. I definitely want those Garrity warnings on file for him. If he has any, he should, because he was terminated and decertified by MARTA. I have his post certification here. Okay, yeah. He didn't get terminated. He resigned while under investigation, which was a big deal to the Post. And that happened November 19th, 2021. So it's not like I'm going back 20 years or anything. It's not that far. I've already, just to give you an idea of where we are with this, MARTA got the first open records request from me. I did open records requests with as I was trying to find out if he had been stopped or anyone called 911 on him in any other county in the surrounding counties. So I contacted Forsyth, Fulton, and all the surrounding counties, Coweta, all of them, Gwinnett, around that area. And I got a hit back. He was arrested in 2015 in Gwinnett, so I got all that. And I basically blanketed half the state trying to figure out what this guy was really doing out there with this van like he was, with this modified police A-team van. And I got all those requests back except for MARTA, and MARTA was the first ones I sent. So there's definitely an issue there because no other agencies has any problem turning over 911 calls on him, police incident reports. Of course, they didn't have body cam back in 2015 in Gwinnett, so I couldn't get that. But, the issue now is MARTA seems to be fighting me on this request, and it doesn't make any sense because he's no longer with you guys. He can't impact you now. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Unfortunately, I am not familiar with the incident, and I do understand that it's been frustrating for you. The legal department should have facilitated any open records requests that you had, and any requests from our end, we would have supplied to them. Again, I don't know, this all happened before I came to this unit.
Mm-hmm.
This happened back in 21. I'm not privy to any papers that have been.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah.
Before my arrival here. However, I know I was out of the office. I had stepped out for a second. I got your call. I called you back to try and see if there was something I could facilitate.
Yes, sir.
If you do have a complaint against lack of response for email and you want to go ahead and initiate an investigation, I'll be more than happy to go ahead and gather that information and document that for review.
Yes, sir.
What you want to do.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I can email you right now. I can forward you all the email correspondences and everything else.
Yes, sir. If you would, and you can do that at the NPD Internal Affairs email.
Oh, that same one?
Yes, that is my email. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Fantastic.
Our unit does respond to emails from that. Myself and my lieutenant, we do respond to those emails.
Yes, sir. How big is your agency? Like as far in terms of people, how many employees would you say?
Sworn and unsworn, just for the police unit or for MARTA in general?
Just for MARTA in general.
Well,
I tell you what, for police, because I don't really get into the public servant aspect of it, like administrators and all that. Just
we
police.
have around 300 sworn and non-sworn personnel that work with the police department.
That's not bad. That's not very in terms of the agencies I've dealt with. It's about probably a medium size. But as far as like corruption, that's what I look for. There's not much there, So I was kind of baffled as to why no one wants to give me these simple. These are simple records, by the way. They're nothing hard. Very simple. And what kind of body cams does your agency use?
We use Axon.
Okay, because that was part of my request, and this is a request that gets a lot of people. It is the Axon body cam audit trail report that can be obtained from and it shows all activity on that body cam, and I usually always get this. So that's one of my requests as a part of this, and it was really simple. It was image on file, disciplinary record, any Garrity or Miranda on file for the duration of employment. Axon body cam audit trail for duration of employment, because he was only there. Well, he was there for 5 years roughly. Started in 2016, but that's it. Those are very, very. The only one I foresee an issue with is the body cam audit trail, because I may want to narrow that down to a year, because I have some that are 3 and 4 years, and they're, oh good Lord, they're hundreds of pages. But that's it, sir. That's all I was asking for. That's all I'm asking for. I'm not asking for anything else. I mean, it's not about the agency. It's about what this cop did, and I only report on like the most extreme things cops do when they're out there: murder, aggravated assault, battery, things of that nature. And he kind of falls right into the line of those things, with the whole mockery of a 18 police van that he was using out on the highways, pretending to pull people over. And not only that, he was doing this for a while. I'm trying to go back and see what else he's been doing. So far, it's just been the one arrest, but he's a different kind of cop, man. If you looked into it, you just Google his name. You'll come across the videos that I have on him. They're incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And the crazy part about it is he was quitting from you guys and going to work Forsyth County, and he was on his way to the fitness test, and he got pulled over by Forsyth County because of that 911 call of him using his blue lights to pull people over on Georgia 400. So the irony there is absolutely insane. It's hilarious that he gets pulled over, and he gets the lieutenant on the phone while he's being pulled over. But not only that, boss, when he gets pulled over, he flashes his blue lights at the cop. It is the craziest thing I've ever seen. And I have probably 1,300 videos. I have tons of police officers that I profiled. He is definitely at the very top of some of the craziest things I've seen yet. Some of the craziest things I've heard yet. That Georgia Post Council interview he did is insane. But anyway, I don't want to bore you with all that. I know it's for your time. I was trying to give you a little insight as to what I'm looking at here. You know what I mean? It's not a some of my investigations do focus on the agency itself. This one is not that case. This one is focused on the officer, because it was so long ago. And he didn't, as far as I can tell, he didn't impact, people in the public physically, like harm anyone, as far as I can tell. It was just more of him gloating and trying to be the man, and listen, when I say blue police lights on his van, on his personal vehicle, I mean, he had the whole thing decked out, man, lights all around the top, all of them were blue. It's wild. I've never seen anything like it. Literally like the A-Team van with all blue lights, with police interceptor plates mounted onto the side of his door, with police 5.0 mounted on the side of his door. The whole nine, man. It is the wildest thing I've ever seen. So that's all I'm doing. I'm just trying to get some body cam of him to see what he's been doing, because he admitted some things in the interview about some of your officers. Now, I haven't done any requests on those officers. I can care less about any of that stuff. They are not the focus, but he did incriminate a lot of officers from the MARTA Police Department in those interviews. He named them off, and he said specifically what they did. And he's been stopped. He's been questioned why he's out at 2 o'clock in the morning riding around apartment complexes in that van. So there are police reports on that in some of the case files I have. But anyway, sir, that's it, man. I didn't really want to tie up a whole bunch of time, but I just want to let you know what my intentions are and what I do. I don't typically share that with anyone, but you seem like a nice fella, and you seem like you want to help. So that definitely makes a difference.
Yes, sir. So I have the names that you listed. I got Livermore, Chief Career, Leroy Wright, and PM McKinzie.
Yes, sir.
As the focus of your complaints for the non-receiving of emails.
Pearl McKinzie.
Pearl McKinzie.
Yes, sir.
So
Pearly.
so
Lie.
Okay. And that was you sent the original email back on June 11th of 2024 of this year.
Oh, the original email. The original request went out May 24th, 2024, to Pearly McKinzie. That was on a Friday, so you can scratch the 25th and 26th. So really would pick back up on the 27th, because I don't know what time I sent it on Friday. It could have been after you guys closed. So just, it's not that big of a deal. It's just 3 days. But I did send it on May 24th, and it's been a little while. I usually give about sometimes 2 months to a week before I start calling or filing complaints. Because usually what I find is often, believe it or not, you'll have an ORC, and I've caught tons of them. I've got 2 of them under investigation right now, and 2 county commissioners out in Glasscock County. But because they all lied to me. But that's usually what I find is they get instructions out in Towns County. I have one out there I dealt with last year. She was under instruction by the sheriff to not release any files. Well, that got back to me, filed a complaint with the Attorney General, and it went really bad for them past that point. But yeah, I mean, I usually give a little time because I know that there's anomalies. I know there's crazy things that happen in between my request, and sometimes I even request the ORC's emails for that day that I sent the request, sent and received from their business email address at the county, at the police department. Sometimes that reveals some issues, so I'm aware of all of the prior restraint that gets used. I'm aware of all of the obstacles that are put in the way, via portals, we need your information, who are you with. All of those things are all prior restraint to restrict open records. That's what I look for. I'm not trying to brag, but I consider myself an open records expert. I can pretty much recite the 501871 right back to you all day long, just about every single subsection. And I have a lot of agencies fight me, man. They make up excuses, they lie, they try to convince me that I can't get records because they have juveniles or personal information. No, you redact those. And so on and so on. So, just kind of give you a little insight there. I'm aware of all the things that a lot of these agencies do, but then once I start calling and emailing, I usually find someone like yourself that will listen, say, hey, let me look into it, let me see what's going on. And then you will find that, hey, man, I have had many chiefs, many sheriffs email me personally and say, hey, man, I'm sorry, I talked to her, we're going to get your records to you, no problem. So it gets pretty extreme. But anyway, just wanted to share that with you, sir. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. And I'll be looking out for your email regarding that information.
Okay, I will send it on to you.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.